On a crowded street where everyone was rushing past, one small voice cried out for help. A frightened little girl stood alone, clutching a secret too heavy for her age. She didn't want money. She didn't want sympathy. She wanted the police to follow her, because somewhere nearby, a heartbreaking truth was waiting to be found. The patrol car was slowing down at the end of a quiet street when a small figure came running out of nowhere. A little girl, barefoot, breathless, tears streaming down her face, stood in front of the police officers and cried, "Please, please, follow me home." Her voice was shaking, not from the cold, but from fear. The officers exchanged a look. In their line of work, they had heard many cries for help, but something about this one felt different. As they stepped out of the car, the girl clutched the officer's sleeve like she was holding on to hope itself. She didn't explain much. She didn't have to. Her eyes told a story of urgency, of something wrong waiting behind closed doors. And as they followed her down the cracked pavement, none of them knew that this call would stay with them for the rest of their lives. The girl stopped in front of a small, broken house, paint peeling, windows dark, silence heavy in the air. It was the kind of place people walked past without looking twice. As the officers approached, the girl whispered, "She's inside." The door creaked open, revealing a home that felt colder than the street outside. No lights, no warmth. And then they saw it. The reason a child had run into the arms of strangers. What they found wasn't crime or chaos, but quiet suffering that had gone unnoticed for far too long. In that moment, the officers realized the most dangerous thing wasn't violence, it was being invisible. She was too young to be this brave, too small to carry such a heavy responsibility, yet there she was, leading grown men in uniform because she had no one else left to ask. As the officers followed her inside, they saw signs of struggle everywhere. The girl stood still, watching their faces, searching for hope. She had already done the hardest part, choosing courage over fear. And when the truth finally revealed itself inside that home, even the strongest officer felt his chest tighten. That day, a little girl taught them that bravery doesn't wear a badge, sometimes wears torn clothes and broken shoes. Through trembling lips, the girl told them, "I promised my mama I'd bring help." Those words echoed through the hallway as the officers rushed inside. There, lying weak and helpless, was her mother fighting a battle alone, her strength spent, but her love unbroken. The girl ran to her side, holding her hand, whispering, "I did it." The officers moved quickly, calling for medical help, but none of them could ignore the powerful truth in front of them. A child had carried a promise on her tiny shoulders, and she kept it. The fridge was empty, the cupboards were bare, there was no electricity, no heat, no comfort, except one thing: love. The girl had run to the police because her parent collapsed from hunger and exhaustion. She didn't ask for toys. She didn't ask for money. She asked for help to save the only person she had. As the officers stood there, surrounded by poverty but overwhelmed by devotion, tears filled their eyes. This was not a story about having nothing. It was a story about giving everything. The girl told them, "She doesn't answer me anymore." Inside the house, silence pressed down like a weight. They found a guardian unable to move, trapped in their own body, unheard for days. The child had been living in that silence, scared, confused, but still loving. When help finally arrived, the silence broke not with words, but with sobs. Sometimes the loudest cries are the ones no one hears until it's almost too late. One officer later admitted he almost waved the girl away. He was tired, his shift was nearly over, but something stopped him. Following that child home changed everything he thought he knew about duty. When he saw the truth inside those walls, he felt shame, gratitude, and purpose all at once. That night, he didn't just save a family, he rediscovered why he wore the badge in the first place. Neighbors lived just feet away. Cars passed every day. Life went on while suffering stayed hidden behind one door. As police uncovered the truth, The weight of collective neglect became impossible to ignore. The girl didn't run because no one was around. She ran because no one was paying attention. And that realization hurt more than anything else they found inside the house. The officers tried to stay professional, but when they stepped outside, one of them turned away, wiping his face. Another took a deep breath before speaking on the radio. They had seen hard things before, but this was different. This was pure, innocent pain. And no training prepares you for the moment when compassion breaks through the uniform. As emergency lights filled the street, the little girl finally relaxed. She held an officer's hand, her grip no longer desperate, but trusting. Help had arrived, her run was over. That day didn't erase the pain, but it changed the ending. Because one brave child chose hope, and strangers chose to listen. And sometimes, that is enough to save a life. That day, a little girl proved that courage has no age, and that even the smallest cry for help can change a life forever. If this story touched your heart, remember, kindness begins with noticing. Stay with us for more real stories of humanity, hope, and courage. This is Miracles of Kindness.